Hey everybody, this is Andrew Brown from Exam Pro. In this follow along, I'm going to show you how to launch a Kubernetes cluster on Civo. So over here, you can see I have a credit balance of $250. When you first sign up, you get $250 for free for a month. And so you can see that I have a 0.3 spend because I launched one cluster. Civo actually has a lot of great educational content for Kubernetes. So they cover a lot of stuff here. And so, you know, it's just, if you need more stuff, this is it. Mine is more certification focused, where there's just general knowledge. So maybe there's some places where you can fill the gaps in here by using their academy. They also have docs here. I haven't really gone through their docs, so I'm not sure the quality of them, but I do know their academy is A-okay. And you notice that they have Kubernetes, but it looks like they have virtual machines, load balancers, volumes, and some networking things. So what we'll do is go to Kubernetes at the top here. I'm going to create myself a cluster. And here I'm just going to call this cluster Civo cluster for fun. We can choose how many instances. I just want one. We can choose the default network. We can choose an existing firewall and go default, whatever they have there. Whatever that means. I'm not sure what firewalls are on Civo. And then there's a different sizes. So notice that, I mean, like if it was me, I would go straight to medium. And so if you go to extra, then it goes, hey, you should probably choose a medium. So I'm like, okay, cool. I know what size of Kubernetes clusters I should be using. So we go back here and it's $20 a month. Now I do know that the control plane for Civo is free. So that is something that's really great. I'm not sure, again, I'm not sure if they'll be able to do that forever, but that is one of their positions. When you go to Civo pricing here, that is their advantage, where they go, look, you are paying for the control plane and all these other providers, and for us, the control plane is 100% free, okay? So obviously these costs are quite large, but yeah, so that is an advantage with Civo. Now, what we'll do is go ahead and launch a new cluster. Oh, sorry, I was already launching one, wasn't I? So we'll go back to this tab here. We have our medium. You can see monthly or hourly. You're not going to get charged like immediately $20. It's going to be whatever it is per cent. And then we have some stuff in the marketplace. So just like everything, there are marketplaces. Might just want to poke around here to see what they have. So pretty standard stuff. I like how like the CI/CDs are here. I didn't notice them on the other ones, but maybe I just never noticed. But anyway, we'll go ahead and create this cluster. And so we'll have to wait for it to create. And it has this countdown here saying how long it's going to take. And it's relatively pretty quick. I think we'd say like a few minutes. And so I'll see you back here when it's done, okay? All right, so after waiting a little while, our cluster is running. So we'll have to take a look at how to get working with this. And the way it works is you'll need to have a kube config and just download that and use that. So what I'm going to do is make my way back over to AWS because we're going to use our Cloud9 environment. And I have one provision from before, the DigitalOcean one. I'm actually just going to go delete that and make a new one right now. Okay. And then what I'll do here is create a new environment, and we'll just say Civo env, just so we have a way of interacting with it. I'm going to stick with Ubuntu just because I usually go with Amazon Linux, but since it's so easy to do that sudo snap install for that kubectl, I figured we'll stick with it. We'll do a T2 micro because we don't need anything else than that. We'll go ahead and spin that up. So while we're waiting there, I guess the question is like, how do we do Ingress? Because I didn't really do much with Civo. So maybe what we can do is go take a look at their docs and see if they have instructions for that. So I'm going to go here. I just want to see how we can do Ingress. So, because that's always the questions, like how do you do Ingress? How do you do load balancing, right? So Ingress Controller with your own TLS certificate. I want to know. Let's look at load balancing here. So creating a load balancer relies on the Civo Cloud Control Manager, sending the appropriate request to the Civo API to do load balancing. And so then down below, the load balancing algorithm is provided in the round robin. Here's the annotation. I imagine this is the annotation that we expect to see in our Ingress controller or something like that. External traffic policy, session affinity, firewall, like yada, yada, yada. What I really just want is I just want to know how to do it. Like, what are the step-by-step instructions for us to deploy. So I'm not 100% sure. Okay. And this kind of just says like how easy it is to utilize this stuff. And that's always the question that I have here. So here they have Ingress, and it looks like this, but it's using TLS. I don't really care about TLS. All right, so we'll go back here, and this environment's ready, and we will do our sudo snap install kubectl classic to get that going there. And then for Civo, we definitely have to download the config kubeconfig. So we'll download the kubeconfig. And I have to spell kubectl correctly, or it's not going to work. And then what we need to do is we need to upload this file. So I'm just showing this in my folders off screen here. We're going to go to File, Upload Local Files. And then here I'm just dragging on in that file here. And then we're going to hit Close. And did it upload? Yep, so that's the contents of the file. And so what I'll do is I'll say move to kube config. And we need to put the name of what we're actually moving. So Civo, this. Sure, we'll say touch or make directory cube. And then we'll move that into the right place. And then we'll see if we can do this kubectl get pods. Great. And then I'll just do kubectl create deploy nginx --image nginx, and we'll hit enter, and so that creates that there. We'll go back to Civo and see if there's any way we can kind of like view our load, like what kind of interface or stuff does it give us, or is it really bare bones? And it's fine if it's bare bones, but let's just see what we can see. So we're going here, and we'll go into our cluster. Okay. And we'll go to install applications, marketplace. So I guess this one doesn't really show you anything, and that's totally fine. But I guess the question is like, how are we going to network this? So I'll be back here in a moment, and I'll figure it out, and I'll see you here soon, okay? All right, so I'm not sure if this is going to work, but because this one is specifically with your own TLS certificate, but I'm going to just try to maybe follow through the instructions here. So we already created our nginx thing, and then the next thing we need to do is expose it. So what I'm going to do is go back over to Cloud9. We'll type in kubectl. And by the way, Civo has their own like tool, like to create stuff. So, I mean, that could be useful, but I didn't install it. So I guess we'll just do what we can here. We'll type in expose deploy nginx. And sometimes you'll see people do this, and this is totally valid as well. But I just like to have with no space, or like no hyphen or / there. We'll do 80, and then we'll do target port equals 80, and then we'll say kind, or no, it's type. And we'll say node port, because that's just what I've been used to doing. And so now we have a service, and the next thing we'll need is an Ingress controller. So I'll type in Ingress YAML, and then we'll go ahead. Yeah, that's fine. Close tab, because we deleted that one there. And we'll go here, and we will copy the contents here. And we'll modify it a bit. So replace with your cluster DNS name. So we probably need that. I don't care about TLS. This is going to go to nginx. We're going to leave the path normal. We're going to go to port 80. And it's fine if the path prefix, it just looks slightly different because usually when we do Ingress, they look a little bit different here. And we'll just type in Ingress here. And so what we'll do is grab our cluster DNS name, which is here. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and post that. We usually don't do a host, but for this, since they're doing it, let's give it a try. And we'll do kubectl apply -f ingress YAML. Great. And so now we can do is kubectl get ingress, and it has an address. So we'll go grab that. Whoops. Did not work as expected. 404 not found, but at least it's doing something, you know what I mean? So we'll go back here, http:// Okay, what if we try with the host? And we'll advance. Oops. Can I advance? You cannot visit right now because the website uses HSTS. Network errors and attack usually temporary, but this page will probably work later. So usually, like, if we have that, we just advance, right? It's not a big deal. What if I just try HTTP? Can I do that? Or does it always forward? No, it does. Okay. So that's not going to work. So maybe we do need a TLS, but it does say, like, bring your own TLS certificates. So maybe we can just generate one in place. So save the cluster in the desired configuration. So 3-node cluster, Greenstone. Create certificates. So here they have a line to create a certificate. Okay. And we'll go to the next place here. And it says waiting. Okay, so generated it out. And then it says create a secret. Okay. Because maybe the requirements for Civo is you have to have TLS or some kind of secure thing to connect. I'm not sure, but that is kind of my guess there. Maybe we should just follow through their tutorial here because they might have other things configured that I'm not aware of. So let's just go all the way down the list and follow their instructions. So we'll do this. And then we'll go down. And then we'll copy the contents here. I'm just going to rename this to. And then we'll just gut the content here. Well, I don't want to have to get that cluster IP or DNS again, so I'm just going to paste that there. And we'll scroll up and we'll just grab this value here, cut. And then we will paste this here. And we will paste this here. And then we'll delete the old one. If we can find where it starts, which is here, I believe. Good. And so then we'll do kubectl apply -f ingress 2. And then we'll do ingress, and we'll have 2 there, which is totally fine. We can even delete the old one, I guess. That's the one I made. So kubectl delete ingress or ing ingress. Clear. And then check if everything works. So there they are doing a curl there, but it looks like that you can also just go to the demo. So maybe what we'll do is just copy this line here, go to our browser, type /demo, cannot be reached. So, I mean, we can also try the curl, right? But I don't think that's going to make a difference because, you know, it's either right or it's wrong, you know? Oh yeah, so it's working. It says it's here. So if that's the case, maybe it's just not resolving yet because it's like new or something. So I'm going to grab the IP address instead. Okay, and then I'm just going to try this instead. 404 not found. So it is 100% working. It could be a firewall thing. So they do have a firewall, as we saw as the default. So let's take a look at what's there. I can just go back to command 0 here to resize our stuff because they had manage firewalls. Again, I don't know anything about Civo, so I'm just hoping that's like open a port. So we will go in, and the default firewall has all ports open. So if you install everything out of the box, we advise to create custom firewalls. So everything is open. But technically, according to their tutorial, it is working correctly. Now, why I can't access it here, I don't know. Okay, but we do know that when we ran this command, for ours. And we could also probably even try with the IP address maybe. I don't know if that would make it, like if we'd still get the same thing. So here it says 404, which is fine. And we'll try this one again. And here we get a 200 hello world. So it is working. I don't know enough about Civo to get beyond this point, but it's totally fine. And I think we are a-okay here. So I'll go back to Cloud9 and we will go and clean this up. But just do that. Can I get back to Cloud9 easily? Yes, I can. And we will delete our Civo environment. And we'll go back to our cluster here, Kubernetes, and we will go ahead and delete our cluster. And we are all done. There you go.